Hello everyone, here's some satellite imagery of Sevastopol harbour, which is quite interesting because I think it now confirms for all intents and purposes Russia has abandoned it. The harbour has been pretty much emptied of warships. At the frigate pier, all that remains is a solitary Krivak-class air defence frigate, and the Yuri Ivanov intelligence ship the Ivan Khurs. There's also a Rapua, but these aren't based here as such. We see them come and go quite regularly on supply operations. But for permanent ships here, all we can see here, the Yuri Ivanov and the Krivak. Now, the Ivanov was hit by a storm shadow a few weeks ago, cutting a hole in its rear. There was satellite imagery after that attack showing it being supported by another ship during the time. So has this been left here because it's pretty much disabled and can't sail on the open waters? Certainly, we haven't seen it leave Sevastopol since it was hit, although it has moved around the harbour so it isn't fully disabled. But I've also seen it suggested that this has electronic warfare equipment, and that's why it's staying here, to add its electronic warfare to the Krivak's air defence systems. Now, we haven't confirmation of passes of Sevastopol being emptied of the important ships, the ones that fire caliber missiles. But this is the emptiest we've seen it, with not even the patrol vessels remaining. Zoomed in a bit here, the repair bay, a solitary Grisha-class minesweeper. We can also see the Rostov-on-Don submarine, which is currently undergoing repairs still. It's been moved out of dry dock and is in a covered area at the repair bay. That net covering looks flammable. Seems like it may be easy to land a incendiary munition armed drone on it and just let the fire do its work here to 100% finish off for Rostov. And here, the entrance to the bay. Firstly, we can see a floating crane pottering around carrying out some sort of maintenance to the booms and borders which are meant to stop drones from entering. It's near here though, just to the north of it, where we often see Russia's smaller patrol ships and that sort of thing, including Tarantul Corvettes and Bora-class hovercraft. They are completely absent. Hibdena Bay, two Rapuas are highlighted. One of these the one on the right is Minsk, which was hit by a storm shadow. Interestingly, when we last saw the Minsk, there was another Rapua alongside it, likely the Konstantin Olshanki, which is one captured from Ukraine in 2014. It was said a few months ago that Russia intended to remove the superstructure from the Olshanki in order to repair the Minsk. There's no sign of the Olshanki now and no sign of the superstructure near the Minsk. It could be it's been decided that wouldn't work and the idea has been scrapped maybe. And there's also the one other Rapua class ship. So, pretty much an empty harbour. Now, earlier, I did say Rapuas often make supply trips to Sevastopol, but we can see here there are no sort of escort vessels or patrol vessels at all. I can't see even Russia being stupid enough to send a Rapua from Novorossiysk to Sevastopol without an escort now. So could these two remaining Rapuas in Sevastopol be the two which were reported hit by Neptune, the Yamal and the Azov? And it could be that they're fully not seaworthy yet, which is why they are remaining here. But I think now we can pretty much say Sevastopol has been pretty much abandoned by Russia, at least of combat ships. In the past, we did see at least smaller patrol vessels and the like here, even if the big missile ships had gone. But since the sinking of the Cyclone, even they have left. Here's an example, an image from May. So you can see Tarantul Corvettes and Bora-class and Natya-class minesweepers here, and other smaller patrol type ships and minesweepers throughout the harbour, so it certainly wasn't empty then, even if the caliber launching ships had gone. But after the Cyclone was sunk in late May, the harbour has pretty much been evacuated. Here's an image from early June, showing Sevastopol mostly empty, with just a handful of Rapuas and the Bora-class corvette remaining. And as we saw today, the harbour is even emptier, with the Bora-class hovercraft now gone. Now, a span of almost a month with no ships here. We can't put this down to them leaving purely for training exercises and the like. This seems like an abandoning of the harbour of combat ships. The only warships remaining being a Krivak, which provides air coverage of Sevastopol, a solitary Grisha minesweeper, and a possibly unseaworthy Ivan Khurs, which could also have been left here in order to use its electronic warfare to defend Sevastopol. There's also the pair of Rapuas, unknown if these are the ones which were hit by Neptune and aren't fully seaworthy, or they came here to drop off supplies. More evidence of the abandoning Sevastopol comes from here. This is from Novorossiysk, and we're seeing more military ships now being based at Novorossiysk with more overspill into the civilian part of the base. We looked at Novorossiysk yesterday, and that also had some ships missing. Well, here's an overview showing the two borers from Sevastopol are now here, and Rupua and an Ivan Khurs-class landing ship are also in the civilian section of Novorossiysk, so there is a bit of an overspill from here. It seems that Novorossiysk is now the Black Sea Fleet's primary base. Also of interest highlighted here, a small dry dock is currently being repaired in the larger dry dock. Now, even with Novorossiysk, we are still missing the three Buyan-M corvettes. They don't appear at Sevastopol or Novorossiysk. And also, some of the smaller vessels are missing as well. Notably, we haven't seen the Tarantul Corvettes, of which Russia has, I believe, 4 of them. It could just be they are at sea on a mission, but it's possible that some are now based elsewhere. Other possibilities, they could be at Theodosia, which is a relatively small harbour, Rostov-on-Don port, out of the way up there, or the new small naval base near Georgia. Or it could even be they've been moved into the Caspian Sea. There is a canal connecting the Sea of Azov with the Caspian Sea. Russia sent the 2 Krivak-class corvettes here after the Cyclone got sunk by ATACMS. So quite interesting. We've slowly but surely over the course of war seen Sevastopol emptied more and more of ships. Now, when I first saw the images of early June of it emptied, I thought that was, because it had only just been hit by an attack of strike and the ships would be there later on, or maybe even they'd been moved out to carry out some sort of training operation. But a month later, it's still basically an empty port. I don't think we can say that anymore. I think it's been abandoned. But it is interesting that some ships are missing. Those 3 Buyan-Ms, I'd love to know where exactly they are. I would guess Russia has started basing those somewhere else, but we definitely can't rule them out being moved to the Caspian Sea. But I find that unlikely, as Russia does use the Buyan-M corvettes in order to launch caliber missiles at Ukraine, so they are key ships for the Russian Navy. But we are going to have to wait and see if they appear on satellite imagery. As for the Tarantuls, they are quite small ships. Some of them are very likely on patrol guarding, say, the Crimean Bridge. The other ones, they are small enough to be based possibly down at that base in Georgia or Theodosia or somewhere like that. So I suppose now we can have a look at what's been accounted for and what hasn't. So with the 30th Surface Ship Division, the Moskva at the top is now submarine. 1 Krivak is in Sevastopol, one of them is in Novorossiysk, providing air defence cover. 1 Grigorovich in Kaliningrad undergoing repairs. The other 2 Grigoroviches we saw are at Novorossiysk. And the Mercury can't reach the Black Sea. So all of these are accounted for. Nothing missing here. Unless you count the Moskva. The submarine fleet all likely accounted for. There was cloud cover over the last satellite images of Novorossiysk submarine bay, but we have seen all 4 of them there in the past. So the ones in the Black Sea at the moment are likely there. Nothing askew there. Rostov, of course, has been promoted to surface vessel by Ukraine. And there's also one in the Baltic in refit and one in the Mediterranean stuck there. And this is where it gets interesting with the 41st Missile Boat Brigade. So the 2 Grisha-class or Bora-class ships are now at Novorossiysk. These are the hovercraft. The Buyan-Ms, one is in the Mediterranean, 3 of them are missing, no idea where they are. 1 corvette, Karakurt, destroyed by Storm Shadow, the other one sunk by ATACMS, and the other 2, the Amur and the Tusha, have been sent to the Caspian Sea. So 3 Buyan-M corvettes missing here. Here, the Missile Boat Division, all of these Tarantuls are missing, not showing up at Novorossiysk or Sevastopol. The Grishas, these are accounted for. 1 of them we saw at Sevastopol, 2 of them are currently at Novorossiysk. 150th Minesweeper Task Force here. Again, a bunch of missing ships here. None of them were visible at Sevastopol, none of them visible at Novorossiysk, the Natyas and the Alexandria class. One of the Alexandria classes is currently in the Mediterranean. Two of the Natyrs are listed as unclear if active. These ones were seen at Novorossiysk in the past. There was a pair of them which didn't move for many months. They've now moved. Maybe they've been taken away to be scrapped, or, more likely, given Russia's ongoing shortage of ships thanks to marine drones and missiles, likely been taken somewhere to, be put back into service again. There are still a couple of these missing, I can only assume based elsewhere at some other port. They're quite small vessels as well. The 102nd Anti-Sabotage Squadron, again the three Gretchenocks we haven't seen, no idea where they are. The Raptors and Flamingos, well the Flamingos it's unclear if they're actually active or not. The Raptors are very small vessels, so although we haven't seen them on satellite imagery, these are small enough to be berthed in, any of Crimea's smaller bays and harbours and that sort of thing, in order to carry out patrol duties there. So I expect these are somewhere lurking around Crimea. Remember there's that bay where Ukrainian marine drones hit the Tuna-class patrol ship not long ago. I expect the Raptors could be in little bays like that. The 22160s, the three surviving ones are accounted for. They're at Novorossiysk. The Grishas, one of them is said to be in refit at Novorossiysk, the other two, unclear where exactly they are. Finally here, the 170th Minesweeper Division. Again, a bunch of ships here which we haven't seen on satellite imagery, mainly minesweepers, three of which, the Sonyas, may be inactive. So, as you can see, there are quite a few missing ships, most of them smaller vessels like patrol ships and minesweepers. Of most interest to me is the whereabouts, of course, of the Buyan-Ms and the Tarantuls. I would guess that Russia is now hiding them somewhere along Crimea's coast and the bays there and that sort of thing to try and stop Ukraine from finding them and hitting them with marine drones or missiles, especially the Buryans because they are key targets. Hopefully we'll get some information soon as to where they are. But the disappearance of the BNM is very interesting. So that's it for this video. So a pretty much abandonment of Sevastopol, pretty much confirmed now. No major warships other than the Rapuz and the Krivak in there throughout June. I think it's safe to say Russia has given up on Sevastopol, driven out of it by a nation without a navy. Now, before I finish, I'm going to play a video from the Ukraine Volunteer Centre about the ongoing fundraiser. Thanks very much for watching, and take care, everybody.
Good afternoon. My name is Dmitry. I am the head of the fund of Ukrainian Volunteer Center that's dedicated to supporting our soldiers on the front line. Our soldiers face many challenges and risks on a daily basis. We started fundraising to provide them with everything they need, but unfortunately our fundraising stopped halfway through. So far, we have raised only half of the amount needed. We still have 9,000 left to the race to provide our soldiers with everything they need. Every donation, even the smallest, makes a huge difference. Your support can save lives and help our heroes return home safe and sound. We believe in your generosity and support. Please help us complete this fundraising and support our soldiers. Thank you for your consideration and participation. You can make a donation via PayPal or cryptocurrency. Requisites in the description of this video or on our site. Together we can help our heroes. With love from Ukraine.